Welcome, Anubis Legion. Today is a reaction video. We're reacting to 22 new games the whole world is waiting for in 2026. PC, PS5, Xbox. Grab your snacks, get your drinks. This is a 35-minute video. I'll wait. Alright, you got it? Let's go.
Keeper is a first-person action RPG that got revealed back in early August during the Nordic presentation, and it instantly looked like something special. The vibe is very much in that Dark Messiah look,
is it loud?
almost like a modern follow-up to that style of game, with a little bit of Elder Scrolls mixed in. And after a few months of silence, we finally got a short gameplay showcase. It's only about 8 minutes, but honestly, it's enough
this looks nice.
How good this game looks. The graphics aren't just
right now. I'm only posting Valorant. That's because I'm not a gamer. So if y'all got any games, let me know. Let me know what y'all want to see me play. I got y'all. I haven't played a lot of games.
Like that. It's straight up gorgeous. The lighting, the environments, the detail on everything, it really stands out. The combat also has
this
that
looks
same
beautiful.
Physical, hands-on feel. You play as this heavily armed fighter moving through these fantasy locations, and you're not alone either. You've got this companion rat tagging along. In fights, you're swinging around big weapons like a two-handed sword or an axe, and then mixing in telekinetic magic on
You think it's like
that.
loot?
The animations look smooth, and the whole thing feels quick and aggressive. Story-wise, there's basically nothing concrete yet. No real plot details have been shared, and even digging around
it looks
online
really
doesn't give
nice.
much. What we do know is that you'll be exploring ruined fantasy places that feel like leftovers from
you think it's like Elden Ring
ancient disaster.
For this one?
The developers have talked about
or at least similar
combat with lots of
like open world,
like multiple schools of magic, artifacts, and other abilities.
Oh my gosh.
Fatekeeper is planned to launch in early
We're playing this
on Steam sometime within the next 6
Steam?
months.
Okay, I gotta get Steam. We're gonna play this for sure. Wow. Bro, starting off really
Forza
good.
Horizon 6 is the next big entry in the open world arcade racing series, and it's officially set for 2026 with a release date locked in for May 19. This time, the huge location everyone's been waiting for is finally happening, Japan, and it sounds like they're really pushing into it. Mount Fuji is there, neon-lit city streets, smaller villages covered in blooming sakura trees, the whole mix of modern and classic scenery. Playground Games is saying
the only car game I have played is probably Need for Speed, Most Wanted, and is another Need for Speed. I don't remember the title though, but I don't believe I ever played a Forza game. I don't remember. So if you want me to play this, let me know.
They want this to feel like the most detailed version of Japan they've ever built, from the big landscapes down to the small cultural touches. The season system is back too, and it's not just visual. The world changes in mood, sound, and even what's happening around.
I'm guessing there's also police chases in this,
which has always been one of the coolest parts of these games.
That looks so stunning.
On Japanese car
oh, that looks so nice.
Drifting, customization, racing traditions, all of that. On top of that, there will be new co-op features, more city-focused tracks, and a huge car list. At launch, they're aiming for almost 600 vehicles, with Japanese cars alongside
600
ones too. So yeah, Forza Horizon 6 hits May 19, 2026. It's coming to PC and Xbox Series first, with a PlayStation 5 release planned a little later. Ill is a first-person action horror game that's going all in on blood, body horror, and really nasty nightmares.
Now we're trying to get into. We never ever played any type of horror game except for the one that's posted on this channel, and we barely got into that one. Let me know, guys.
Ever since it got revealed, it's been pulling in people who want something dark and genuinely disturbing. The story is still being kept under wraps, but what we do know is that it's set in this lost, grim place.
Alright, we probably gonna play this too.
Eastern European reality, just twisted into something.
The god of death is interested.
The main character isn't just some random camera walking through horrors. His own personal story is connected to whatever bigger nightmare is happening here, and that seems like it's going to matter a lot.
Gosh.
The developers have said they want this to feel lonely and hopeless, like you're stuck somewhere you really shouldn't be, and you might even start feeling bad.
This looks crazy.
Gameplay-wise, Ill has a mix of exploring, surviving, crafting, upgrading your gear, and solving puzzles. Resources are tight, ammo especially,
Oh, I'm looking at
so
my
you
thing.
can't just waste shots. You've got to actually think about what you carry, because inventory management is a big deal here. Combat can swing from fighting off a single horrifying creature to full-on boss encounters. And the locations aren't static either. You might restore power in one area, and somewhere else things shift and get even darker, which is a really cool way of keeping the tension moving. Also, visually, it's kind of wild. It's built in Unreal Engine 5, and everything looks insanely detailed and realistic, even when it's showing you the grossest possible stuff. Ill is planned for PC, Xbox Series, and PlayStation 5.
Ooh.
And right now, the release window is set for 2026.
Okay.
Subnautica 2 is the next big underwater survival game,
Subnautica
and it's taking
2.
the series into a completely new ocean world. This is the second main entry, but it's not tied to Planet 4546b at all. It's a whole different ocean planet, with new creatures, new places to explore.
I've never played Subnautica
5,
1.
so it's looking seriously impressive. The story setup is pretty simple, and honestly, that's not really why people play these games. You're basically
it's stunning?
heading out to a distant
Is it because it's
planet,
visually stunning?
something goes wrong, your ship crashes, and now you're stuck trying to survive somewhere humans were never meant to be. Classic Subnautica stuff. One big change this time is co-op. Up to 4 people can swim around together, build bases, and explore as a group, which is going to be a huge deal for a lot of players. The development hasn't been smooth though. There was a major split inside the studio, layoffs happened, and there were even legal disputes involving former employees and the publisher Craft.
Ooh.
But even with all that,
Now, they got real threats in the water.
Pushing forward and promising a massive, detailed underwater adventure. And right now, it's still on track for 2026, with a release plan for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox. Second something new drops, I'll be right there talking about it immediately.
Look at that. That's crazy. This is nice. We're playing this too. We're gonna play everything.
Fable is finally coming back.
So stay
and
tuned.
The big surprise is that it's a full reboot with its own take on Albion. The early
Online
2026 Developer Direct gave the clearest look so far, and you could tell the team wanted to build something that keeps the spirit of the old games, but tells fresh stories. They even dug through the old Lionhead material, but in the end, chose to make their own version of the world. They kept one classic idea front and center. Fable is meant to feel like a fairy tale about regular people who get tangled up in magic. Not massive kingdoms, not big political drama, just small lives turned upside down. And yes, the character builder is deep this time. You can make the hero look however you want, and you can play as either a man or a woman from the start. The default heroine from the early trailers is still the same, strange expressions and all, but the male lead they showed looks much cleaner and more detailed. Combat runs on something they're calling style weaving. The whole point is to cut out delays so you can swing a blade, fire off a spell, and shoot an arrow in one smooth rhythm. It looks fast and clean in motion. The morality system also got rebuilt. Instead of a big glowing scale, everything runs on how people see you. If nobody watches you swipe something, then nothing happens. But kick a chicken in front of a whole crowd, and yeah, that tradition is alive, and
what is it called? That's like...
The world is packed with over 1,000 NPCs.
That's like... What's that game called? Where Wind Meets? Or something like that.
Each with their own name, job, routine, and a bed they actually need. The team even had to redesign towns just to fit everyone's sleep schedules. You can check who each NPC is hoping to date, which opens up all kinds of social trickery if you want to mess with things.
Interesting.
Players won't have to wait long. Fable launches in autumn 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series.
He just kicked that chicken.
Crimson Desert is Pearl Abyss going all in on a massive open-world action-adventure game. And yeah, it's the same studio behind Black Desert, but this is not an MMO at all. This is a single-player, story-focused game set on this
I could never get into Black Desert.
You play as Cliff, the leader of this rough mercenary.
So I don't know how this might be my game.
And the whole setup is about trying to pull your scattered group
I'm not gonna post no games I'm not having fun with.
Around you is falling apart. What really
like right now, I'm posting a lot of Valorant. I'm having a blast with Valorant.
RPG thing where you just
never played Valorant before. It's actually quite a good game. Not gonna lie.
Trade hits.
So I'm very excited to see what other games there is I have never played.
It's way more physical. Fights feel messy and heavy, like a mix of swordplay and straight-up grappling. You can tackle people, vault over them, slam them into walls, and it has this brutal close-up energy that makes every clash feel personal. And the world is doing a lot too. It's medieval fantasy, but it's not locked into just that. There's weird steampunk-style tech mixed in, and it keeps surprising you with what's possible. You're not just riding across fields on horseback. You can take control of these giant fantasy mechs.
Ooh, that fishing! I like fishing.
And use movement tools like pole vaulting to climb and cross castles in ways that feel really free. It's running on Pearl Abyss's own.
A dog petting another dog is crazy.
They're pushing big destruction, heavy weather, and visuals that actually look properly next gen. Crimson Desert is set to release March 19th, 2026 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
I didn't watch more videos on what is my race? I know I'm a god of death. You know, I invented mummification. Pat myself on the back. People worship me. I got the best afterlife. But I don't think I watched the video where it talks about Ryan Race. At least I didn't peep it.
Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis is a brand new Lara Croft adventure that was shown off at the Game Awards as part of the series' 30th anniversary celebration. And yeah, it's kind of wild that they revealed 2 Lara projects at once. This one is coming in 2026, and it's basically a fresh reimagining of the very first Tomb Raider from 1996. The cool part is the game is taking Lara back to that classic globe-trotting style.
Show off.
You're going to see these big, time-lost places like the jungles of Peru, ancient ruins in Greece, the deserts of Egypt, and even this mysterious Mediterranean island that's wrapped up in myths. Lara's still doing what she does best too. Dangerous terrain, deadly puzzles, strange predators out in the wild, and this constant push forward as she hunts down pieces of the Stein,
she is very agile.
Artifact that's at the center of everything. They're mixing that old school Tomb Raider spirit with modern design and updated visuals, and they're also teasing new surprises along the way. It really sounds like they want it to work for longtime fans who remember the original, but also people jumping into the series for the first time. Clockwork Revolution is an upcoming RPG that got a big trailer at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it's being led by Brian Fargo, who goes all the way back to the early Baldur's Gate days. This one was first announced in 2023, and it's shaping up to be a pretty ambitious project. Clockwork Revolution takes place in a fictional utopia set in the year 1895. But of course, things aren't as perfect as they look.
That was young, by the way, guys.
It's full of corruption.
Next time I cover my mouth.
The idea is that you're trying to mess with events and change what the future turns into. The new footage really focused on character customization, some of the enemies you'll be dealing with, and the big gameplay hook here, time manipulation. And it's not just a gimmick. It looks like you'll be using it both in fights.
I seen on Instagram, they got a game. Like if you move forward, time goes forward, but as soon as you start going backwards, everything you did goes into reverse. So you gotta manipulate that to your advantage. I don't know what it's called. I think it's coming out. I might play that too.
And
if you know what I'm talking about, comment what the name is.
Change parts of the past in order to protect what comes next. It feels like that's going to be the core of the whole game. They're also promising deep dialogue systems, kind of in that Fallout style, where conversations actually matter. The story plays
I don't
out
see a
in
statue of me.
this
That's
underground
Olympic. I
side
was
of the
way
city of
before this
Babylon,
time.
which is ruled by Lady Ironwood, a woman basically controlling time itself. The whole vibe gives off strong Bioshock energy, with that strange, stylish world mixed with something unsettling underneath. And the nice bonus is that Clockwork Revolution will be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. There is still no exact release date, but rumors are pointing toward 2026. Resident Evil Requiem is Capcom's next big single-player survival.
Oh, here we go. I tried. That's the first scary game I tried was Residential Evil Village. I posted it on this channel. You can see the first game ever. If y'all want more of that, let me know.
You're
Still got the game.
Two different characters this time. One is Grace Ashcroft, a rookie FBI analyst.
I might gotta play this. That's my true first horror game. I mean, that was my first one.
Not a rookie anymore.
I guess you just say second one
for
shit.
It takes place 30 years after the original outbreak, and it brings you to this rotting hotel resort that's tied directly to the fallout of Raccoon City. You're looking into a string of strange disappearances, but of course nothing stays simple for long, because you're being hunted by a new
he looks so nasty.
named Victor Gideon. The cool part is how the game shifts depending on who you're playing. When you're Grace, it's straight up survival horror. You're not strong, ammo is tight, and a lot of the time you're surviving by hiding, moving carefully, and solving puzzles instead of fighting head on. But when it switches over to Leon, the whole pace changes. It turns into this much more aggressive action shooter style. You've got heavier weapons, melee moves, and you're cutting through enemies in a way Grace just can't. There's even moments where you can flip the tables and use things like enemy chainsaws against them, which feels very Resident Evil in the best way.
I don't understand the concept,
RE engine,
if I'm being honest.
It's also being framed as the end of the current story arc for the series. And honestly, it sounds like the first time they fully
it's like
mixed
GTA.
the slower
You switch between
of
characters.
Resident Evil 7 with the more intense combat feel of Resident Evil 4 in one full campaign. Resident Evil Requiem is set for February 27th, 2026 on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2.
I think I want a second opinion.
Number 12.
Control Resonant is Remedy Entertainment's next single-player action RPG, and it's a pretty big swing for the series. Control Resonant has you playing as Dylan Faden, Jesse's brother, and this time the story isn't staying locked inside one strange building. The game is set in a warped version of Manhattan, where the oldest house containment has completely failed and paranatural stuff is spilling right out into the city. Your main goal is finding Jesse, who's gone missing under really weird circumstances, while everything around you feels like it's starting to break apart. Reality is basically coming undone, and you're trying to stop it before it all collapses. The biggest change is the gameplay. Control Resonant moves away from the shooter style of the first game and shifts fully into melee combat. You fight with a shape-shifting weapon called the Aberrant, and it can turn into heavy hammers or dual blades depending on what you need. So the action is way more up close and personal. You're not just swinging weapons either. You're mixing in telekinetic powers, tossing things around, smashing enemies, and keeping fights aggressive instead of hanging back with gunfire. Remedy has described it as more intimate and brutal compared to the original's gunplay. The world design is different too. Instead of one contained location, you'll be exploring open-ended zones across New York City with more freedom to move through different areas. It's also running on the newest version of the North Light engine, and they're really pushing destruction and physics. Buildings can tear apart, gravity shifts, and the environment doesn't always behave.
This game don't pique my interest.
Control Resonant is currently planned for a 2026 release on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Hell Let Loose Vietnam is a full, standalone entry, and Team 17 has been really clear about that. A lot of players were worried the original World War II game would get pushed aside, but the publisher has said support for Vietnam will run side by side. This Vietnam project is being led by Expression Games, and the setting change isn't just cosmetic. It's forcing real gameplay.
I don't want to go in the past. I've been there too long.
Matches are planned as 50
We're not
versus
playing
50,
this game. It might
with
give me
US forces fighting against North
no
Vietnamese
comment.
forces, and the maps are a totally different kind of battlefield. Instead of European towns, you're dealing with dense jungle, wide open rice paddies, beaches, and hills. A big focus is on rivers and water routes, so boats actually matter here. Helicopters are also part of the toolkit, but with an interesting split. Air mobility is reserved for the US side, while the opposing side gets tunnel building instead. At launch,
I'm not gonna lie, we start off so strong with these games, and they're going downhill.
One of the coolest authenticity details is the Royal Armories collaboration. Team 17 and Expression Games partnered.
And also, let's be honest, when GTA 6 dropped, and it is all, let's say it's 80% of what the hype is. Nobody's playing these other games. Like, these other gaming companies got to take a break for at least 2 to 3 years, in my opinion.
UK National Collection.
Because GTA 5 is still popular. Like, seriously, it's always on the trending.
Access to real historical references for weapons, gear, and textures. They've even been showing side-by-side comparisons of in-game models next to the real-world items. And that
after I had got my suppressor, I stopped playing. I hit my goal. My goal was achieved.
Onimusha Wave the Sword is Capcom bringing the series back with a full new entry, and it already feels like they're taking it seriously. One of the most striking choices is the main character.
This looks cool.
The protagonist is Miyamoto Musashi, and Capcom didn't just design a random version of him. They modeled him after the late actor Toshiro Mifune, and they've said it took about 2 years of negotiations and approvals just to lock that in. That's a huge commitment, and it gives the lead a really specific presence. It's not just a game character, it feels like they're treating him like an actual film role. Combat is built around tight swordplay.
That is so cool. Demon Slayer.
It still has the supernatural side.
I might play that just for that reason right there.
Monsters and Oni powers are part of the identity.
I'm gonna feel like a Demon Slayer.
The tone sounds more grounded and weighty this time. Capcom also mentioned the project has been in production since 2020, and you can feel that in how confident the reveal was. This doesn't come across like a quick nostalgia move. It feels careful, like a real reboot, where the craft and atmosphere matter just as much as the action.
It looks really nice. I hope it's open world. Like, I really do hope it's open world. Hold on. I'm hoping it's open world, and it has everything that has, like, where wind meets. I think that's what that game's called.
Pragmata is an upcoming single-player sci-fi action-adventure game from Capcom.
She looks like a doll.
It's set on this lonely lunar
She's so
research station
tiny.
in the near future, after a massive quake messes everything up and the facility's AI goes completely rogue. You play as Hugh Williams, a spacefarer in a high-tech astronaut suit, and Diana, this strange young android girl who ends up being way more important
she's an
than she
android.
first seems. The whole goal is pretty clear. You're trying to escape this hostile moon city because it's basically been taken over.
You're shooting when there's glass behind you.
You need to find a way back to Earth.
It's
What's
insane.
really interesting is how the game handles the two characters. You're controlling both Hugh and Diana at the same time. Hugh is doing the heavy lifting in combat, shooting enemies, moving around, and using thrusters to hover and reposition. But Diana is the reason you survive a lot of these fights. She usually rides on Hugh's back, and she can hack enemies and systems. So in the middle of battle, you're not just blasting away. Diana is solving these grid-based hacking puzzles in real time to strip armor off enemies or open up sealed paths. Then Hugh can actually hit the weak points once she exposes them. It sounds like combat is built around that constant teamwork, where you're protecting her while she's basically cracking the enemy open for you. It's running on Capcom's RE.
That's pretty cool.
They've described it as a dystopian lunar adventure with a big focus on the bond between these two characters.
I don't think this is my type of game, though.
For April 24th, 2026, and it's coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch too.
They made her way like, she's an android though. She's so doll-like.
Blades of Greed is Cyanide Studio bringing back their sarcastic little goblin thief for another round of sneaking and stealing. This one is set to launch in 2026 on PC, Xbox Series X, and PlayStation 5. And yeah, you're once again playing as Styx, a stealth expert who talks a lot of trash while doing the job. So it's very much keeping things in line with what these games have always been. The big focus this time is quartz, this rare and dangerous resource that could easily spark a war between elves, humans, and orcs. That's basically the whole reason Styx
Never pay
is out
attention
there
to this
risking his neck
franchise.
again. The developer,
Like I said, never play games for real. So I don't know what this game is about.
sticking to the series tradition, but giving you even more room to get creative. The levels are supposed to be huge and vertical, so you're not just sneaking down hallways, you're climbing, scouting, finding weird angles, and planning your approach. And that planning part is a big deal here. You'll be able to prep carefully for raids and heists, craft different weapons, mix up potions, and basically tailor your tools to whatever mission you're about to pull off. It sounds like the kind of stealth game where taking your time and setting up the perfect
Bro, he is a little
fun. So yeah,
goblin,
Styx is
bro.
back. The world's messy, quartz is causing chaos, and the goblin is right in the middle of it again in 2026. Game of Thrones War for Westeros is a newly announced real-time strategy game set in George R.R. Martin's world. And yeah, it's going full classic RTS with big battles and 4 major factions to pick from. You've got the Starks, the Lannisters, the Targaryens, and even the Night King. Each one comes with their own units, heroes, and special tricks, so it's not just a simple reskin depending on who you choose. Battles are all
I need to see some gameplay.
Full armies, infantry lines, cavalry charges, siege machines rolling,
No, thank you.
giants smashing through, and dragons flying overhead. It sounds like they want it to feel like you're actually leading one of these massive Westeros wars.
This don't look that bad.
Hero abilities with army control to turn the tide. There's
This
going to
don't
be a
look bad at all,
single-player
actually.
campaign if you want the story-focused side, but multiplayer seems like where things could get really messy in a fun way. The whole idea is that alliances won't last long. People will team up, break deals, betray each other, and basically do the most Game of Thrones stuff possible just to stay on top. It's being developed by Playside Studios and published by Warner Bros. Right now, it's planned for a 2026 release, and it's coming to PC.
Ooh.
The Steam page is already up too, so if you're into strategy games and you've always wanted big Westeros
He has
battles
not
in
changed his
RTS
facial expression
form, it's already
once.
sitting there ready for wish lists.
Nigga sees him as a baby.
Nanta is shaping up to be one of the wildest open world projects in years. People have been calling it Anime GTA for a while, but at this point, that nickname barely covers what the game is trying to do. The closed beta on January 20th showed that...
How? If you're an animated GTA and GTA got everything. Everything. How? Let me see.
The team packed in a whole city's worth of jobs, side paths, and little life details. It's built like a full social world, not just a checklist of missions.
GTA.
The beta had 5 story chapters, and every character you get comes straight from the story. No gotcha tricks, no paid roles, nothing like that.
GTA.
You just play through and unlock stuff. And the range of roles is actually huge. You can run deliveries, poke around as a hacker, join the police, or even try the life of a streamer. It's aiming to be a real role-playing setup where every job feels like its own little lane. There's also a ton of day-to-day stuff. You can hang out with other players, go on dates, hit the movies, lift at the gym, or wander around malls. The city map works like a clean digital map. You can set a route like you would on Google Maps, and a few spots even let you zip around.
Oh, they ain't got that in GTA.
The fighting looks sharp too. You get
But they got airplanes,
combos, dodges, weapon swaps, and those flashy anime-style hits that pop off the screen in the trailers. NetEase hasn't said much officially, but all the leaked gameplay makes the project look way bigger than people expected. They're even talking like GTA 6 isn't a threat to them at all, which is a pretty bold claim. Right now, the plan is a release in the second half or end of 2026.
Not a threat.
Possibly rolling out in China.
All right, we'll check them out.
And then everywhere else. It's
we like confidence.
All major platforms. Beast of Reincarnation is Game Freak's next big new project. And yeah, it's the same studio that's been tied to Pokemon forever, but this is them doing something totally different. The game takes place way out in the future, in the year 2406, and it's built around this strange pair traveling together. One of them is a girl named Emma. She's been hit with this corruption. She doesn't remember who she even is, and she's trying to stay alive in a world that's basically falling apart. The other is this dog-like creature named Malefact, and the two of them head west because the source of the whole infection is this thing called the Beast of Reincarnation. The way they describe it is simple. It's an action RPG.
This looks so cool.
One dog. Emma handles the main combat with a katana, and it's fast and skill-based. Parrying at the right time isn't just for style either. It actually builds up points. And then Malefact isn't just following you around. The dog gives support in fights, and you can pause into a command menu whenever you want. Time slows down, so you can think, pick abilities, and line things up in a way that feels almost like a turn-based moment inside real-time action. They're also promising adjustable difficulty, different builds using spirit stones, and a world mystery that keeps getting teased with one rule that's honestly pretty creepy: never look at the sky. Beast of Reincarnation is planned for summer 2026, and it's coming to PC, Xbox Series, and PlayStation 5.
That's okay. Never look at the sky.
007 First Light is IO Interactive's.
That's the first thing we're gonna do when we play the game.
And if you know IO, you know they've spent the last 20 years making Hitman games, so stealth and player choice is kind of their whole thing. Now they're applying that to the most famous spy on the planet. This one focuses on a young Bond, only 26 years old. He's not the smooth tuxedo legend yet. At the start, he's basically just a naval aviation pilot, and after doing something heroic, he gets pulled into the 00 training program. But his first real mission goes badly. He's meant to catch a traitor agent, and he fails, which kicks off the bigger story. Bond ends up working with a mentor named Greenway, and together they start digging into a conspiracy inside British intelligence itself.
This looks good. I'm gonna play this. I like this.
Bond story. It's not tied to the movies at all. The developers even
I never played a Hitman game.
Of Bond instead of copying any actor. Gameplay-wise, it sounds very Hitman inspired. Missions can be handled however you want.
But I know what it is because I watched the movie Agent 47. I got some intel.
Gadgets, stay quiet and play it smart, or go loud with a pistol and brute force it, or even try talking your way out of situations instead of shooting. 007 First Light launches March 27th, 2026, and it's coming to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X.
And we'll be there.
Phantom Blade Zero is looking like one of the big action games to keep an eye on, especially if you love fast sword combat and that Eastern-inspired style. At the Game Awards 2025, S-Game finally came back with what people wanted most: real news on when it's coming out, along with another gameplay-heavy trailer. The new footage focuses hard on this dark kung fu punk world, full of conspiracies and strange energy. The combat is the main thing, and it looks ridiculously fast. The hero is parrying strikes in a blink, bouncing through the environment and chaining attacks together so smoothly it almost doesn't look real. You see flashes of massive bosses, moody locations, and progression stuff like powerful weapons showing up throughout the trailer. It's all moving at this insane pace, and the whole presentation has this dramatic tone, like the game is building up this myth around the blade and the phantom coming together. At certain moments, the fights look so slick they almost feel like an interactive movie, but the developers have been clear that it's still fully under player control, not just quick-time spectacle. Phantom Blade Zero is officially set to release on September 9th, 2026.
September 9th.
PlayStation 5 and PC. Grand Theft Auto 6.
How is GTA 6 number 2? Huh? Let me know what games that y'all see that y'all are excited for.
Is now locked in for November 19, 2026 after yet another delay. And at this point, I'm really hoping that's the last time they push it back, because this is easily one of the biggest games people have been waiting on in years. Rockstar keeps talking about how they're taking the whole series up a level, and with the amount of money they've already poured into this thing, it's pretty clear they're not kidding. This isn't just the most expensive project they've ever worked on, it might end up being the priciest game anyone has ever made. This time, the story takes us back to Vice City, but it's not the 80s throwback people remember. It's a full modern take, and the whole plot revolves around two criminals inspired by Bonnie and Clyde. Lucia's the lead, making her the first woman to headline.
We've all seen these trailers.
Story, and Jason's right next to her the whole time as a second playable character. It's obvious Rockstar wants this story to feel a little more personal and grounded, not just a big crime comedy. The map isn't just Vice City either. It's a huge state based on Florida. They keep hinting that the scale is bigger than anything they've done before. One detail that jumps out is how many actual places you can walk into. Stores and malls aren't just scenery anymore. There are around 700 shops you can enter and buy stuff from. 700. That's wild. They're also saying the main story alone runs about 75 hours, and that's just the straight shot. If you're the kind of person who wants every side thing checked off, that's going to eat weeks of your life. We still have a long way ahead, but if even half of the leaks are real, the payoff should be massive.
Watch someone complete that storyline in 2 days. How is that possible? I don't know. But someone's going to have a video out in probably 3 days. I'm giving them 3 days. 3 days of them saying this is the final storyline or something like that.
And yeah, the price is going to be massive too. The standard version is expected to be about $100, and I don't even want to guess what the deluxe one is going to cost. $200 doesn't sound crazy at this point. It's coming first to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series.
Y'all spend $100 for this game?
We'll probably have to hang on for another.
Or is that even a question?
So yeah, we wait together on this one.
What is number 1?
Marvel's Wolverine is Insomniac.
What's the title of this game? 22 new. The whole world is waiting for. I didn't even know there was a Marvel Wolverine movie.
It's long-awaited take on Logan, and it's not going for that bright superhero vibe at all.
Oh snap! It looks so good though.
It's built on the same engine as
oh, it looks amazing.
This game is way darker and a lot more violent. The tone feels closer to something like God of War. Logan isn't pulling punches, and the fights are meant to be brutal with a lot of blood. And yet, the game is rated 16+, so they're clearly not aiming for something light or family-friendly. You're going to run into characters like Omega Red, Mystique, and even a Sentinel, that huge mutant hunting machine. The locations aren't all the same either. The game moves through places like the forests of Canada, neon-lit Tokyo, and the
gosh, he is spanking them.
Insomniac's community manager, Jason Spinoza, mentioned that some allies will stand with Logan, but others are going to come at him full force. One of the major hostile groups will be the Reavers, and they're supposed to keep the pressure on constantly. The developers are calling it an original Wolverine story that still keeps the spirit of the comics, just with a fresh angle that pushes hard into Logan's raw brutality. The plot has him digging into the truth.
DC did a big one with this one.
Facing enemies outside and inside his own head.
Like, this looks crazy.
Are expected in early 2026, and Marvel's Wolverine.
But it's not better than GTA 6. That's like been so hyped for years.
And that wraps up this list.
I can't wait to play this game though.
Games coming our way in 2026.
Let me know what game y'all want to see me play. Write it down in the comment section. Also, write down in the comment section what games y'all gonna be playing. Anubis out.